Hello again, welcome back everyone. Liquorhound here with you. Thank you for joining me once again for another spirit review video. And today we'll be taking a look at a couple of Extra Anejo tequilas coming to us from Patron. Now this Extra Anejo here is going to become a part of their core range release. So when you think of the standard silver Reposado Anejo, now we'll have this Extra Anejo beside them. Now as far as what goes into the creation of this, it uses a dual extraction method when they're crushing the piñas. One is going to be the traditional tejona, where they use that big lava rock wheel to crush the piñas, and then they also use some roller mill extraction, and that's going to be the faster, more efficient method. Now the combination, once they do that, this is going to go in 3 different types of barrels. So they use the traditional ex-bourbon barrels, they use Hungarian oak and French oak as well, for again 3 to 4 years of maturation for this one. For only $100, that's a pretty good price point. Now on this one over here, this is the Cinco Años Patron, the limited edition 5-year-old. This comes in a more hand-blown looking decanter, nice glass top there with kind of dimpled, almost like a golf ball, but not quite as symmetrical, which is probably a good thing. But this one's going to be retail pricing around $200, $225. For a long time it was duty-free only. Now I'm starting to see it on store shelves. I think at Total Wine I saw it for about $200. But this one uses the combination extraction, so tejona and roller mill, but it's aged in only 2 different types of casks, one being a unique one. So it uses ex-bourbon barrels, but then the other one is American, and these are new American limousine oak casks. So those 2 types go into this one after 5 years. Now let's go ahead and get to the nosing, starting with the core expression, Extra Anejo. And that's nice. That one is, wow. Lots, and I mean lots, of red fruits and raspberries, a big cherry note. Maybe almost like a red rope licorice. There's a lot of caramelized agave here, so that's adding to the sweet factor. The cinnamon and clove that I'm picking up are they're big, but they're balanced. So not more cinnamon than clove, just really nice, equal amounts. The orange oils are still in here, but the red fruits are just so big that baked agave is just so big that the orange oils just almost meld into everything else. And there's oak in here, but it's very sweet. And it's very balanced, so that's a good thing, because sometimes those Extra Anejos can just become too much wood. That's not the case here. This one has a ton of fruit and baked agave. That's the star, with the orange oils and the clove and cinnamon being balanced. Really, really nice nose. As a matter of fact, it's almost reminded me of some bourbons. Okay. Now this one over here, the 5-year-old Patron. Okay, so this one is different. This one's more traditional on the nose, so traditional tequila. The agave seems more vegetal here. Fair amount of sweetness. This one has a little bit of a cracked white pepper going on. A little bit of cinnamon, not too much. Not picking up any clove in this one. And if I get on the edge of the glass, I'll maybe call it a little bit of like a lemon zest. And the oak is definitely present, but again, it seems balanced. And this oak seems a little fresher, I guess it's that new American limousine oak is what's going on there on the nose. All right, but now let's get to the palate. For the 3 to 4-year-old Extra Anejo here. Again, a little taste for this first one, and now here we go. Wow, yeah. That one's really, really nice. Medium to medium-high viscosity, so that's good. Inner is very kind of creamy and soft. A good amount of sweetness. Wow, I'm picking up the bourbon barrel. Big on the back end. That's nice. But as it enters, you get that agave that's baked, and you definitely taste the agave, but it's more, like I said, caramelized with brown sugar on it. That big cherry note is coming off like brandied cherries. If you've ever had those Luxardo cocktail cherries, that's what this is. The orange oils still coming through even on the palate, a little bit of that. But the red fruits are just big. The red licorice, the vanilla aspect is coming on mid-palate with the clove and the cinnamon. And I would almost say on the palate, the clove seems bigger than the cinnamon because I'm not getting that prickly heat of the cinnamon. I'm getting the warming of the clove, that nice flavor. That red rope licorice thing still rolling. Here on the very back end of the finish, I pick up a little bit of black pepper with the vanilla and everything else still just rolling. The oak is so well integrated in this one. To me, this is going to be like if you're crossing, it almost comes off with the brandied cherry thing, it almost comes off like sherry. So the fortified wine, not cherry, but sherry. And if you're coming from the single malt world and you want to get into tequila, this may be a great bridge to cross, because the sherry that you love in those, sherry finished malts or sherry matured whiskeys comes across almost in this like sherry, but it's just I guess the ex-bourbon barrels adding a ton of red fruit. Now, if you're coming from the bourbon world or bourbon community and you want to try tequila, this again would be the bridge to cross, because I'm getting a lot of that vanilla, those red fruits, a good amount of mature oak coming in on the back end that you kind of look for and love in bourbon is right here in this one. Wow. Very, very solid. It's the thing I would be afraid of with Extra Anejos is when they become too much wood and they get really tannic and bitter and that type of thing. That's not happening here. And fortunately, the agave is not covered up with all those red fruits. They're definitely in there, but you can still focus on the agave as it goes through. Really, really nicely done for that one. For only $100, that's a nice Extra Anejo. Okay. Now, the 5-year-old Patron here. Let's see. And wow, that is different. Two different animals here. This one is going to be, just like it knows, more traditional tequila. So, yeah, right down Tequila Avenue. Fresh floral / vegetal agave. Really, really nice. Balanced sweetness, so that's very impressive there. The cracked white pepper that I picked up on the nose is here on the palate. A little tiny bit of cinnamon as well, but more cracked white pepper than cinnamon. A little bit of anise, or anise, however you like to say it. Just a twinge in there. Vanilla character. It kind of was hidden because the floral vegetalness of the agave initially was hiding that vanilla that kind of showed up in the mid palate and is now rolling on the finish with the clean, fresh oak. The great thing is they're doing a really good job blending here, because again, it's not bitter, it's not tannic, it's oak, but it's enjoyable throughout. Matter of fact, if I was going to, I kind of equated this one to a sherried single malt or maybe a bourbon whiskeys, tequila. This one, I would almost say it reminds me of some rum agricoles. So when rum, like from Martinique, is made, they use it from fresh sugarcane juice. And those always have this vegetal floralness to them. That's what this is giving me. It's not like most of the other rums that are coming from molasses base. This is more of that vegetal floral. Really nice. Now, which one would I prefer to have in the bar? I'd want them both in the bar. They're totally different, and they're both great in each aspect. And I could definitely see, using this in cocktails where maybe a bourbon is called for. You might be able to slip this in an old-fashioned. I'm going to try that out. But anyway, again, $100, $200. I think they're both great buys if you happen to see them out there. I hope you enjoyed this video. Keep leaving those great comments. I really appreciate that. Of course, don't be sure and like my Facebook page, Liquorhound. and catch me every now and then on Twitter and maybe Instagram at Liquorhound as well. So thank y'all so much. Keep leaving, again, all those great comments. Appreciate it. Take care and cheers.